out your dicks, get ready to fap. It's time for your favorite show, The Grease Trap. Pull out your dicks, get ready to fap. It's time for your favorite show, Grease Trap.
Hey there, motherfuckers. Welcome to the fucking Grease Trap, eh? All right.
Cheers.
Cheers. Holiday greetings to all.
I'm starting to notice a pattern.
Yes.
And I'm going to call it out.
Call out the pattern, Paul. Enough of this bullshit. For too long, you've been oppressed by the tyranny of the pattern.
And I'm going to call out a person on the show with me right now.
Call him out. Call out that son of a bitch. Call him the fuck out.
In one of these squares, a person that I'm going to call out.
Hell yeah.
And it is Scotty. Uh-oh. Oh, plot twist. Plot twist.
I'm being called out? Oh, dude, I feel like I'm in WWE, okay.
Scotty being called out. How you gonna answer back, motherfucker?
You call me out.
All right.
I'm now backstage.
Are you
Scott? Called out and immediately gets off cam.
Oh, yeah, that's true. If you want to treat it like that. But no, because then it fucks everything up because you could prepare in a way that's going to like at least show people one more time what you look like right now, Scotty. In fact, I'm calling you out right now face to face. It's one of those types of promos where you come out and we're promoing.
I'll come on out. I'm here.
I've noticed a pattern, Scotty. A disturbing pattern in recent episodes of our show.
Oh, I'm sorry, Paul. Just trying to.
Oh no, that's
awake here.
I yawn a lot too, but that's kind of to the point, Scotty. Hey, Scotty, you're wearing your hair in a certain way today. What is that certain way, Scotty? It looks like you're sporting a almost like a ponytail, Scotty. It looks like that you might have your hair in what is commonly referred to, and correct me if I'm wrong, people in the audience, chat, a ponytail. Isn't that interesting? I've shown up with a ponytail several times on the show.
You can't tell though. You can. Oh, here's my reputation, Paul. I don't know where the fuck your hair is doing.
You can't tell, Scotty?
I can't tell, Paul.
You can't tell the difference between Paul with a ponytail and Paul without a ponytail, Scotty?
There's
not an immediate and obvious difference.
Well, let me explain.
In my appearance, Scotty, and I'll tell you what, you've appeared just like I appear now. Hair resplendent, rolling over your shoulders like thunder over the hills, Scotty. But I'll tell you what, it's always on the same day that I choose to wear my hair down, Scotty. I'm surprised you haven't reached for your sunglasses yet, Scotty. Is your Paul cosplay complete? Or would you like me to send you a Blade and Soul shirt and a Hellraiser poster, Scotty, and a diet plan so you can gain about 100 pounds?
You got anything else to say, Paul?
I rest my case.
Well, I can easily refute all of this. Number one, Paul, you're not a beautiful woman, so I ain't looking at what your hair is doing. There's no need. There's no need, Paul. Like, now, if you was a fine, voluptuous woman with big old fat titties and a big old fat ass, maybe I would check the hair out. Most times, I don't give a fuck what my hair is doing as long as it's out of my fucking face. That's my one stipulation in life, is that my hair be the fuck out of my face. Having long hair. Whatever fucking way it goes is how it fucking goes. Now, to your other disgusting remarks, Paul, trying to imitate you, Paul, look, I'll never be that fat. I'm sorry. I've tried. I fought it. I've tried to, look, I've been in the kitchen at night. I'm like, be like Paul, eat like Paul, eat like Paul. I can't do it, man. I can't fucking do it. I've tried. I've had the triple stack of pizzas. I'm trying to stuff it down my fucking gullet. I'm like, think like Paul. I'm trying to blend in I got my blender going. I'm pouring in ice cream. I'm pouring in every bad food you've ever mentioned on one of these shows. I'm blending it up, making a disgusting fucking smoothie. I'm trying to chug that shit down. I can't fucking get it done, Paul. I can't get it. I am the fucking goddamn original and most original fucking person in this podcast. If anyone is trying to ape you, it's the motherfucker below me. Name of TJ.
I ain't below. I'm on top. I'm the top.
On my version, you're below.
Well, in my fucking version, I'm in the top.
I'll give you some credit, dude. The top of the pyramid does need a base. It does need a solid foundation, TJ. It needs the toil of the working class. Hammer away, TJ. Hammer away. Because if Paul, I think your anger is misdirected. You want to direct that anger? Direct to the guy below me, or I guess his flawed version above me.
I am above.
Right? Because look, Paul, I'm not going to try to imitate Paul. That's boring. There's already one Paul in the show. We don't need. Look, the hairstyle thing, Paul. That's a coincidence at best.
Imitate Paul, Scotty.
You have a
Imitate
problem
Paul.
with anyone? I honestly feel and I'm not telling you what to do. I think you're probably with TJ.
Scotty, you need to get fatter.
And let me tell you why your problem should be with TJ. And it's very simple. Just look at this motherfucker. Before Paul, who had a beard? You had a beard. What about TJ? Constantly.
Hey, I've had many beards throughout my life. Okay?
I don't recall you having a beard before this show ever, dude.
What?
I'm racking my brain.
I've had.
Can't think of it.
There's photographic evidence of me with prior beards besides this beard.
Is there going to be any homework, Professor? Not to interrupt.
Oh, Paul. I mean, look, if I had to give you a grade, I mean, we already know where you're going to get what grade you're going to get, Paul. We already know who you did in school. Paul, look, I don't mean to denigrate you, Paul, but we all know you had terrible grades.
F+.
I mean, look, your mom showed me a report card when we went to see you. You know, I mean, it was like, look now, and one time Paul got a D. And we're like, that's pretty good. I mean, straight F's, and he got one.
Paul's
D.
got lots of D's, if you know what I'm saying.
I carry around a lot of D with me.
Splendid Maine. You look at the Greek god before you.
Mhm.
Envy fills your heart, knowing that you cannot achieve the sublime form in front of you. And I understand.
Odin envy Zeus, sir.
Did Odin envy Zeus? What?
I think you know exactly what I've just asked you. Did Odin himself envy Zeus, sir?
You know, Odin did envy Paul. He envied Thor. What a beautiful with his beautiful resplendent locks.
I know Thor.
Oh, really? Well,
Thor
watch.
would never be such a follower.
Come on down, Paul. Oh, that's right. You're too afraid to get a disease.
In the shadow of your brother, and now in the shadow of the splendid moon.
Paul, I have no fear of such diseases.
Oh.
Pull up your face mask, Paul. Pull up your face mask. Filled with fear.
Oh.
No, I'll give you the floor, Paul.
Scotty sits even now in the shadows. The shadows in his own studio, the shadow of his brother, and the shadow of the resplendent mane that he sees in front of him. Whichever way it is adorned, he must copy. Oh, poor Scotty, to never feel the sun on your face. Now, TJ, I will admit, you did get one thing right. But TJ's for another day. TJ, your promo comes during the next grease trap. I'll cut my promo for you.
So, TJ, next time Paul comes out, let's just rush him and beat him with steel chairs, dude.
Yeah, steel chair.
Yeah, we'll form an alliance behind the scenes and then reveal it when I promo TJ. And you can run in with the steel chair in the form of just joining me when.
Oh yeah, that'd be great.
At first, you got to look like.
Oh, Paul's got TJ on the rope, so Scotty here. Oh, Scotty's gonna save TJ.
You got to do the old way. You got to look like you're like a.
Paul, like you scurry out of the ring. It's like, oh, I get TJ. Like, you all right, man? She just. Oh.
Dude, I see it Ted DiBiase style. Here's how I see you. You're the neutral observer as I promo against TJ, right? You're not taking any side. You're very good at that. You do a lot of that on this show as TJ and I squabble at each other, which we may do again here soon. I don't know. This is part 2 to an episode that was a powder keg, to say the least. So you take the neutral position. And then when TJ's at his lowest, that's when you fucking get in the ring and betray him. You reach under the ring and you grab the steel chair and you're behind him as he's ranting back at me at some point, and you just sneak up behind him and just clink. And then we double team him. We just gang stomp him. The ref comes over and tries to stop us. We punch the ref and he falls out of the ring, and we just keep gang stomping.
I'll tell you what, that fucking.
What are we going to call our team up?
Oh man.
Because you know how when this happens, like the team is like, we are the NWO. Or
Maybe the main men, dude, or something like that.
Oh, perfect. The main men, dude. All right, TJ, you know what's coming, and you're not even going to be able to prepare for it, dude. Oh, shit, the main men, bro. But in the meantime, Scotty, I'm still skeptical of you.
You know what, Paul? Go on and be skeptical. Go on.
What was the name of the villains in 101 Dalmatians? Like the fat.
Oh, the fat
It's like
Hope.
Horace and Jasper. That's what you guys can
Yeah,
be.
yeah. That's exactly. Or was that something else? I think it was Horace and Jasper, though.
I just looked it up.
That sounds right. Horace.
Horace and Jasper.
My mind immediately went to Flotsam and Jetsam.
Here, you
which
guys.
are
Here, this is you and this is you guys right here.
characters.
You guys can be Horace and Jasper.
Oh shit! Well, that maybe that'll be your comeback, but we're going with the main men.
Oh, okay.
You know how Maine is spelled, TJ, with your baldingness.
So you guys like big Stephen King fans? Is that the thing?
No, not Maine, not the state, TJ.
What, TJ, what are we talking about, man?
Maine men, like you're from Maine.
Like
The mane of the lion, TJ, the symbol.
Oh,
the
okay.
mane of the god, the mane of the god Odin, and the mane of the god Zeus,
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
or the god of thunder, Thor. However you want to look at it.
Fight you, TJ.
We could also be the Valhallans or some shit like that. Odin and Thor, temporary truce.
The Valhallans.
Yeah, dude, the Valhallans, dude.
I don't know.
Like,
Oh, you guys should be called before and after, dude.
We can start drinking mead on every show.
You guys should be called. You guys should call yourselves before and after, and like you guys, Paul can always make sure to stand to the left of you and stuff.
Right.
Yeah.
So that like, it looks like there's
So that it looks like Paul's the before picture and Scotty's the after picture. You know, Scotty, you might have to dye your hair more like auburn,
right.
Well,
or Paul
Oh,
can
well.
dye his blonde. Either way,
that'll have to happen. I'm gonna make Paul dye his hair.
we can make it work.
What about when I continue to like drop weight at a rate that's like almost shocking? to
Well, then
me?
Scotty's gonna have to get fat so that he can become after.
Okay.
I
So
tried
Scotty,
that, though.
the more weight
That's
Paul,
That's another thing, TJ. I've seen some and I don't want to undercut. Like you're trying some different shit, but I saw a tweet the other night.
Mhm.
And let me tell you, I'll show you the face. Are you ready? Because I was laying in bed when I read it.
All
I'll
right,
be honest with you.
please.
And here's the face I made when I scrolled through. In fact, I'll even get my phone to like recreate the pantomime for you. I'm laying in bed. Just imagine Paul in bed, right? And I'm just like lazily scrolling through my Twitter. I came upon this tweet and I was like, and I scrolled on by. I didn't like it. I didn't engage in it. I didn't shit on you. It was a tweet that like, I'm about to increase significantly the exercise that I do. And if that doesn't work, I'm going to try intermittent fasting. And if that doesn't work, then I'm going to try something else, one way or the other. This weight is going to come off.
Yeah.
I don't oppose you in that quest. Like I want you to not die of a heart attack as much as I want myself to, but TJ, that's a tweet of a desperate man. That's a tweet of a man that is losing his struggle.
I've oh yeah, I mean well, I mean I made it clear in the one before that I was like plateauing around 310.
Feasting, cheat days, no cheat days. The carnivore diet, vegan diet, vegetarian diet doesn't work because I keep on shoveling food into my maw.
Yeah, I actually have started doing intermittent fasting now.
I know.
So what happened, TJ? Why do you think you plateaued?
I have no idea. I mean, I've been staying within the calorie limits. I've been doing some moderate exercise.
Plateaus are normal.
But yeah, I've been plateaued for quite a while. I just want to break the fucking plateau. But I've actually been having some pretty good results with this intermittent fasting. So
Intermittent fasting is really good. If you stick to that,
It is incredibly hard and takes a lot of willpower to hold up over a long period of time.
it's actually not been too hard.
You have just started. You
Yeah,
just said
I mean, I've done it 3 days. I've only done it 3 days, but it hasn't.
You're going to have to
Yeah.
maintain what you're doing for not a week or
Yeah.
2 weeks.
Yeah.
You're going to have to maintain what you're doing for a year
Right.
to see real significant goals in yourself from your diet.
Yeah.
That is going to be a year filled with willpower choices for TJ. Do I stop on my way back from the gas station and get Oreos or get McDonald's, or don't I?
Yeah.
Do I still keep a cheat day? That's a question that you need to stop having.
Right.
On days, intermittent fasting still is based on calorie deficit.
Right.
And if you pig the fuck out because you're starving.
Well, I mean, I'm still calorie counting.
I'm almost done.
Yeah.
And then you can,
Okay, go ahead. Yeah.
the end of your intermittent fast,
Mhm.
if you pig the fuck out on whatever you want
Mhm.
as a fat guy,
Yeah.
and then go back to your intermittent fast,
Right.
you're going to plateau again.
Yeah, well, I'm not doing that, so.
Okay, good.
No, I mean, I'm still sticking to my calorie limits and
Power
stuff.
check.
Yeah.
TJ, the D&D character, and the brain that is playing him is going to be faced over the next year with a number of harder and harder willpower checks. At the very start, they're very easy. Give me a 2 or better, TJ.
Right.
Oh, I rolled a 4. Oh, I rolled a 10. Oh, nat 20, baby. Woo, crit. But pretty soon, the DM, whatever that is, nature, your own mind, your own psyche,
You're rolling 18.
is going to be like, TJ, roll me a 10. And you're going to roll an 8. And you're going to go, fuck. And you're going to eat a bunch of Oreos and fuck off your fucking intermittent fast and set yourself back a few days.
Look, the thing about losing weight is 90. It's 90% diet.
The problem is that you're going to do it thinking that the DM is going to come back and go like, oh, next time TJ roll me a 4. And it's going to be easier for you to resist that next roll because you have taken the inoculation pill of Oreo and you have Oreo resistance plus 10. But the problem is the DM is smart. So the next time the DM comes to you, he's going to ask you to roll the same number. Give me a 10, TJ. But chicken nuggets are going to be on the line. Or whatever your snack is. I know your snack habits center heavily around Oreos, but fast food.
Right.
A sandwich when you shouldn't have it. A fucking big pig out when you shouldn't be doing it. Whatever it is.
Right.
And you're going to roll a 9. 2 days in a row now. Pigged out on Oreos. Pigged out in the middle of the night on frozen pizza. The next day you win it. The next day you roll me an 11. You see what I'm saying to you? This is what faces you over the next year if intermittent fasting is what carries you to your goal.
Gotcha. Yeah, I mean, it's not too bad. I mean, not so far anyway. Maybe it's going to get harder. I don't know. I feel like it's probably going to get easier.
Roll me a 3, TJ.
Roll you a 3. All right, hold on.
You got your die right there?
This is a fucking just
I don't have a dice, but
Perfect metaphor, Scotty.
warfare of Paul, dude. Just laid bare.
It is.
Roll a 10, TJ. Roll an 18.
I
Can
feel
you do it? Oh, you failed.
No, the mind of a fat man.
Oreos.
This is the mind. What I'm giving
There
you is the perfect metaphor for the mind of a fat man because I have one.
I'll do it. Let's see.
All right, TJ.
Roll your D20 and give me a 3, TJ.
Oh shit! It's a 1. It's a 1.
Case in point,
You couldn't have fucking rolled better, dude.
TJ. Case in point. I rest my fucking case, bro.
Dude, natural
Rolled
one,
a nat 1,
God.
which basically
All right,
that
roll
basically
again.
just means that I ate an entire bag of Oreos, an entire
No,
bag of
No,
Chips
it
Ahoy,
doesn't, but it means that you're gonna.
washed
Okay,
them
roll
down
again.
with a fucking gallon of eggnog or something.
I gotta see another roll, man. Come on, you gotta roll better than that.
20.
When it doesn't count, he's got a nat 20. This might be a shit fucking thing. I don't know.
Yeah. Do it again. Let's see if
I
it
mean,
goes.
it's pretty much
Yeah,
it's completely random. Let's see.
When it doesn't count, it's completely random. But when I'm asking him to make me a roll,
I mean, I'm just saying that you said it was a bullshit thing, but it's randomized.
no, it's randomized for sure. You just rolled a nat 1 when the
yeah.
when the fucking dice were on the line. You rolled a nat 1. When you were fuck around rolling with Scotty, you rolled a nat 20 right after it. TJ, that is
Okay.
that
Dude.
illustrates the point.
If your diet rolls a natural 1, that's like TJ orders a pizza on the way home, stops and gets fucking McDonald's or Taco Bell or some shit.
It's
Swings by the gas station, picks up a pack of Oreos for $8, you know, at an exorbitant price, eats it all in secret, comes back, tells Chelsea, like, yeah, vegetarian nachos
Dude.
sound great.
if you fucking start craving that shit, call me.
You can make some pretty
I'll be a supportive dude in your life. I'll be a dude that like goes, hey TJ, you're gonna be like Paul. I'll be you be my sponsor and I'll be yours. How's that? Instead of this competition bullshit. Because people are accusing me. I saw this bullshit. And we may have to cut this up and just release this little part just to them. The fucking subreddit accused me and Scotty of holding TJ back in his diet and weight loss journey.
Oh yeah.
Hilarious.
You know what?
I love when people remove agency.
Let me just tell you, you know what? I want to come out there and say
now.
I want to come out there and say this. Look,
go ahead and say it.
You know, there's all this fucking bullshit going on about, like, I mean, Scotty and Paul holding me back. Look, I've been fat my entire life. And it's not, I mean, let me just say, absolutely it's their fault. Absolutely it's their fault. I mean, listen, I've tried so many times. You have no idea how many times I've tried to lose this weight. And Paul's just like shoving Oreos in my face. Scotty fucking, here, eat a pound of butter. You know, they're just fucking, and they won't leave me alone. They just agitate till I can't help but be fat.
Stop.
I'm not whining. That's why I've never brought this forward to people before. But now that people have said it, you know, okay. I gotta say, they're right. They're right.
Because as someone that's known TJ his whole fucking life, this is laughable, dude.
Hold on.
No, dude, trust me. I like, look, in this matter, I'm the expert compared to you on this.
No, I believe you. Please go ahead. Wasn't trying to step on you.
Okay, but here's the thing. TJ, I have spent so many years of my life trying to get you to do healthy shit like TJ. Don't eat all this junk food. Fuck you, Scotty. TJ, exercise. I need to fucking exercise. Like, every once in a while, TJ would do a little bit of exercise. Like, I've told you, like, TJ, go walk, do something, you know, be more active, don't smoke, don't do this shit. And it's like, for people that have the gall to be like some rando fucking motherfuckers on the internet that don't give a shit about you, don't know you fucking in real life, to act as if I'm this big roadblock to TJ's success. No, TJ's the own roadblock to his own success. Everyone's trying to help TJ. But you know what? The fucking thing is true. It's like, it goes back to Aesop's fucking fables, TJ. The gods help those who help themselves, TJ. And it would take the gods out of it. You can only help your fucking self. I've
tried so hard to help myself, Scotty. I've tried so hard to help myself, but every time I've tried, I steal up my willpower. There you are, holding a bag of Oreos.
I was sabotaging
holding a bag of Doritos.
Mommy, please give TJ
come there to whisper poison in my ear at my moments of weakness.
TJ fatter.
All I want to do is be healthy.
That's
Scotty won't let me do it.
That fucking kid play video games all day instead of riding his bike. Okay, baby, TJ will do that all day. You didn't want to exercise as a kid. You wanted to eat junk food as a fucking kid. And you know our mom loves junk food, so there's plenty of it around. We didn't have the healthiest diet growing up, and that's what fucked you. If you want to blame anyone, I hate to say it, because I love my mom, but it's mom's fault. I can't blame our dad, because our dad wasn't around enough when we were little kids to actually have ever made any food. So, or buy groceries.
I mean, it is the yeah, I mean, you know, that is the classic approach. Blame your parents. But you know what, Scotty? I don't want to blame mom.
I mean,
I want to blame you, Scotty. I think you did it.
I mean, you can blame whoever the fuck you want, T. It doesn't make it true. You can,
Scotty, it's your fault. It's your fault, Scotty. You know what, Scotty? Accept some fucking personal responsibility for what you've done, Scotty. Accept some fucking personal responsibility for once in your goddamn life. Accept some personal fucking responsibility, Scotty.
Yeah,
Take some accountability for yourself and what you've done to me.
Is that what you want? You want me to? Okay, I do. I accept responsibility for what a fucking goddamn failure you are when it comes to a diet, TJ. Because here's the thing. And I've tried so many fucking times to get you to lose weight. So you know what, TJ? I have failed in that respect. I admit it. I have fucking failed, TJ, because you're so fucking weak-willed that you can't put down a fucking Oreo. That you'd rather eat the Oreo and be a fat fuck and go, why do I feel bad? Why don't I have any energy?
Preach
the gospel.
Your fucking fault, TJ. It's your fucking fault. And if there's little fucking TJ
Scotty's fault. Scotty's fault, y'all.
It's all good, TJ. Go fucking take your soma, TJ.
Hashtag Scotty's fault.
Reality and pretend that's why you fucking have failed in your diet.
Preach on it.
It's all me, TJ, because that's what every fucking person has ever done. You're just like you're just like the fucking king. Vasir, Chancellor, make the decision for me. The people are rioting and revolting. Oh, it was Chancellor Scotty did that. Oh, it wasn't me.
That would be King PJ.
My decisions. Scotty fed me. TJ, do I live in your house at this point? Do I pick what you eat? Do I shovel the food in your mouth? Do I stand behind you?
You plateaued him, Scotty.
Yeah, I plateaued him. Yeah. And Paul, you did too.
From like, 6 neighborhoods away, you plateaued him.
You know why, Paul? Because we didn't just have a big hug bubble and go, TJ, we love you. And you just gotta lose weight, buddy.
I love you, said the little blue man.
I love you to bits.
You and Chelsea live very
Scotty,
much from us.
I want you to go on Twitter right now. Scotty, go on Twitter right now.
Okay, I'll go on it.
Go on my Twitter. Go check out my Twitter, Scotty. I want you to see my last tweet.
Yeah, I'm sure. Let me see the fucking blame that's been fucking thrown my way.
I'm just saying.
I'm just saying.
And the Tajika fans are lining up to be enablers.
I'm retweeting it right now.
I love you to bits. I love you, said the little blue man, and scared me right out of my wits.
Dun, 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 dun. That song is so fucking creepy.
Yeah, it really is.
I don't know. I don't remember who fucking showed me that song.
Me.
Was it you?
Yep.
That's creepy.
I showed you that song because we got on the topic of weird, creepy songs, and I had actually recently heard it crop up in a video for like some video game dude that I watched. He used it, and I went and looked it up, and I went and found it, and we listened to it together, and we talked about using it in my movie idea.
Yeah, I remember that.
Remember the thing where it was going to use that? It was like whatever.
I've seen some Clint monks.
Clint Monk?
Yeah, I've seen a few Clint monks.
Oh.
What'd you think of them?
Some are pretty good. I think Deep Fat Fried retweeted some of them. Like our Twitter.
Oh, the first one that I retweeted and then his refinement of it were the best. You should pull them up real quick. I'll do it. I can just pull up my Twitter real quick. I got my shit open here.
Okay.
So it'll take me a sec. So vamp away, but I'll get the Clint.
So Sky, what do you think about that tweet? You like it?
I'm responding to it right now.
You're responding to it?
I haven't seen this tweet yet, by the way, so I gotta fucking check that out.
It just says the truth is clear. At Kaiser Scoopy made me fat. # Scotty's fault.
# Scotty's fault, huh?
Yep.
Damn. All right.
Scotty did it. Everybody knows.
Okay. Hold on. Let me because I want to give credit where it's due, so I'll just scroll through my stupid Twitter. Okay. Because I want the people to get like, the people. I don't want to not know their names because that's just rude. They spent at least 3 minutes on this shit. So I want to honor that. Okay. Let me just full screen over here and we're ready. Okay. So here are the 2 Clint monks that I've seen that are worthy of showing.
All right.
First one is this one here.
Yeah.
By at Lucas Renzo Giove 1.
Clint Monk.
Clint Monk. I'll click on it so you can get the full effect.
There
and
it
it's
is.
Good. Like this is more of a copy paste job in the other way of the one that I really prefer. It's like taking Pimp Monk and then putting him on Young Clinton, but it's blended well and it looks good.
Yeah, they put the hair on pretty nice.
TJ, I responded to you.
So I thought this one was pretty dope. And then if I scroll down my Twitter, up past my tirade from last night, here's the other one that came out dope. This is by Jonathan Fesmeyer at Jonathan Fesmeyer on Twitter. And he did this one, right? And I thought this one was like, okay, this is the dopest one right here.
Uh-oh, dude.
Look at it. It's Clinton. It's Pimp Monk. It's both of them. Oh, my God, dude. I scrolled in way too much.
It somehow looks... I mean, I can see both of them in there, but it doesn't really end up looking like either one.
Yeah.
So it is like a true amalgamate. It's a true chimera, basically.
Here's the problem, though. He fixed it later in the thread, and hardly anybody saw it. And I'm going to retweet it right now. So we look at this, and you go like, yeah, I see it. But it doesn't really look like either of them because it's so good. You go down. He puts Pimp Monk's Van Dyke on him.
Yeah.
Shit,
yeah.
dude.
That's it. That's what it needed, right?
It.
So I'm going to retweet this one right now.
All right, I'll go retweet it too.
Yeah. Because this, in my opinion, is the best Clint Monk so far. It's a heavy pimp monk, little bit of Clinton. It's like somebody took the Clinton genes and mixed them into the pimp monk genome. You know what I mean? Like it's creepily that way. The Van Dyke fixed it. If you go back to the one without the Van Dyke, it looks a little odd. It looks a little non-pimp monkish. You can see the pimp monk, but when the Van.
If we're saying that,
in Korea, that is.
Dude, hold up. I know the grease trap is drawing. Well, I mean, I guess we do longer grease traps than 30 minutes a lot now, but hold on. I want to share something with you guys.
Okay, let me stop sharing my screen here.
I just heard about this on Twitter, and I wanted to play. This is a really brief little clip, but
it's Ray Cuban.
Yeah, apparently he says some pretty stupid shit in this 10 seconds.
Okay, let me prep myself.
How unusual.
Before we press play, I know we're later in the grease trap because you're in a fucking antsy ass hurry today, but
no, I mean, whatever.
I prep myself for Rave Dubin because I usually avoid.
I was kind of in the past mindset of like grease traps are 30 minutes, but I realize that we usually go well beyond that nowadays.
We need to just realize that's
which is fair considering the amount of money people pay to see this anyway. So.
I think it's a better deal for them to get 45 minutes or not. Anyway.
Yeah. Anyway, so
that's a content conversation for later.
Dave Rubin, 11 seconds. So do you want me to tell you what is supposed to? I have not watched this clip yet, but I've heard a summation on the tweet that I got it from. Do you want to know that summation, or do you just want to go and do it blind?
Okay, so let me ask you a question, TJ, because Scotty can pull his headphones off and mute us.
Sure.
Yeah.
So here's the question for you. Am I going to react better having this just dropped on me, or am I going to react better knowing the broader context?
Better meaning, I mean, look, I don't know if he actually says what he.
Better subjective. So,
all right.
I mean,
well, you know,
I'm going to make an executive decision to just play it, but I want everyone to just shut up and listen to the whole thing. And if he doesn't say what the tweet said he was going to say, I'm going to be pissed because I've seen that happen to me before. I've gotten tricked before. So if this turns out to be some innocuous shit, then
it's the grease trap.
Then whatever. It is what it is. So
11 seconds, total silence.
Everyone, you probably don't need to kill your cams for an 11-second video, honestly. But I guess maybe we. I guess I will. But
damn you.
Go ahead and do it, and let's just watch this stupid shit.
Aside, much of our foreign military intervention has been good. Just look at Korea, Vietnam, and both world wars, where our contributions secured much-needed freedoms. That aside, much of
what? I'll let you listen again.
Our foreign military intervention has been good. Just look at Korea, Vietnam, and both world wars, where our contributions secured much-needed freedoms.
Does Dave Rubin have any context about history that he's talking about? So Korea,
World War II,
the foundation of two countries basically locked in a perpetual state of war for the most militarized border in the world, North and South Korea, millions of lives lost. Vietnam.
I mean, like, I thought pretty much everyone agreed that Vietnam was a bad fucking idea. But apparently,
guys, correct me if I'm wrong. Correct. Can I just for 1 second correct me if I'm wrong? Okay.
Okay.
I'm going to start at World War II, which seems like a weird place to start, but I'm going to start where my knowledge is best. And
that's the oldest conflict he mentioned.
Okay. No, he mentioned both world wars. So World War I.
I didn't hear mention World War One.
Bundle those together and say that our contribution helped to push back the tide of fascism. We were not the ones that necessarily did all the conquering, especially in World War II and in World War I. The Russians and other people from around Europe contributed heavily to those wars and lost a lot of lives as well and were strategically important. But we pressed the Nazis and allowed other people to press them on multiple fronts. And we did the same to the Germans in World War I with our contribution. Okay. Setting that aside, in Vietnam, we stuck our dick in a French colonial beehive, which for generations had been brutally ruled by French colonialists that had fractured completely to the point where it was almost two countries. In the North, people supported a communist revolution. Of course, the North being closer to China, the influence was clear. Adopt the Chinese way of thinking, adopt the Chinese method, become an ally of China, communism, violent revolution, and the South being more cosmopolitan and less attuned towards that. We came at a time where they were incredibly unstable, destabilized their country, raped their women, denuded their jungles and their natural resources with chemical agents and fire and explosions and bombs and literal fields filled with corpses of their people, and left them a shambling mess of a people that still had to work out exactly how they were going to mend the relationships between North and South. And we did very little to facilitate that. We caused an open, horrible war in which we lost horrible amounts of troops that went there under the false pretense that they were fighting for their freedom back at home, when in reality they were fighting for American colonialism and a proxy war against China to prevent it from gobbling up a little tiny chunk of Vietnam, which it went ahead and did anyway. So that's our presence. That's what we contributed in Vietnam. Am I wrong?
I mean, not from my understanding. I thought this was just general consensus at this point. Like, I didn't think this was even a left-right issue anymore. I thought we all agreed that the intervention in Vietnam was fucking terrible. But apparently we don't.
From the Chinese perspective, from the fucking and the worst of all, the people that talk about the Ken Burns documentary of Vietnam is a really great watch on it. If you guys have Vietnam, the best thing I'd recommend. And the thing is, they have this guy in this documentary say, like, the only people that talk about wars, like who won and who lost, are the people who basically were involved.
I love Ken Burns. I've seen the documentary. I will recommend it, but I will give you this caveat. Ken Burns documentaries are not without their biases. And there is a very pro-military bias in the Ken Burns documentary that tries to paint every soldier as somebody that didn't get off on what they were doing and total like psychological victims of their orders. There were a lot of those.
Well, I mean, I think better understand the historical context and perspective. Yeah, obviously individual stories and biases, that definitely comes out as well. I agree with you there. I don't think I'm not thinking it's a blanket endorsement of everything it said, but I'm saying, but they talk to many people who went through that and who survived the conflict.
On both sides.
Yeah, and who basically just say, like, it was just a horrible thing. It wasn't, there was nothing good about this. It wasn't like, yay, the North won now. It's like, that country was left in fucking shambles. And we were supporting, the U.S. was supporting, by the way, if everyone doesn't know this, the South Vietnamese government at the time was terrible. They were terrible. They were basically authoritarian. They killed their own citizens for any sort of dissent, which happened quite often. We brutally crushed any dissent or any people who wanted to end this fucking horrible conflict. So it was a bunch of foreign powers interceding in a country and fucking it up royally for a generation.
At a time where it was already fucked up because it had just quote unquote won a revolution with France, to the point where France basically got tired of dealing with the bullshit and the constant insurgency.
Yeah.
And so they had won a revolution against France, but were so torn apart and divided as a people by the time the French finally left that they were at war with one another. And then we showed up. If you think we made things better with our presence in Vietnam, I can't use the word anymore, so I'll have to come up with something else that is socially acceptable. You're historically ignorant in a way that I can't even fathom.
You know what the rub is when I'm watching the documentary is that a lot of people in North Vietnam thought before the U.S. got involved that, like, we would support their cause. Like, we want to be free. This is what Americans want. Americans love freedom and this stuff. Like they wrote to I forget the guy's name, but he wrote to the American president at the time, was like, hey, we need help. We need to, we want to be free and we want all this stuff. And it's like, nope, we don't care. We actually want to invade and send troops. That's how we're going to help you.
We kicked the beehive and we killed them by the millions, and it didn't help.
Yeah. So how did that help anybody? Dave Rubin. Tell me how that helped. Go actually talk to the people that live there. Go watch and get historical context and see who's talking about. Oh, wow. That was a great conflict.
I did not think that I would ever see anybody like anybody in the mainstream in any way, shape, or form fucking at this point defending Vietnam.
Listen, guys, I want you to put yourself in a headspace for me. Imagine you live in a country instead of the United States, which has been stable for all of our lives. Imagine you live in a country that has just defeated its oppressor, a colony of France, a colony of Germany, whatever. Let's just say France to make it relevant. Colony of France. We've just kicked the French out of our fucking homes. We're free now, but our country is divided and we're kind of at odds with one another as to which way forward is the proper way. And guess what shows up on your shores one day? A big boat filled with American soldiers. And at first, they give flowers to your little girls and they pat the heads of your little boys and they take smiling pictures with villagers. But within 6 to 8 months, they're burning those villages with flamethrowers, killing indiscriminately men, women, and children. And it just gets worse from there for years. How happy are you that they showed up on your shores? And what good did they do in your country?
Well, according to Dave Rubin, I'm going to be fucking clicking my heels with joy as I get oppressed.
They secured much needed freedoms, dude.
Go down in the most delightful way.
Intervention has been good. Just look at Korea, Vietnam, and both world wars, where our contributions secured much needed freedoms.
Hell yeah. Much needed freedoms, y'all.
At least in the case of South Korea, you can argue that, yeah, the South is more free than the North, but I mean, it's still a highly militarized zone. There's still a fucking ongoing conflict. There's
a constant threat. They live under constant threat from China and from North Korea of chemical and biological and explosive and nuclear attack. They're not a stable democratic nation where they're a good example. Like, they're doing well. I'm not trying to shit on South Korea, but
they did excellent with their health programs, with contact tracing with this COVID. I mean, they've made reforms with corruption and stuff. I think South Korea but I don't think it's to do with us. I think it's the will of the people in that country.
They also enjoy a lot of what they have because they're a giant dependent state of the United States.
Well, that is true. And a lot of and obviously South Korea has become really big, like LG. There's a number of companies, Samsung, that manufacture products there, and they export a lot of stuff. So they have an industrial base to build wealth. So yeah,
we also provide the wall that keeps China or the North from steamrolling.
Well, yeah, of course.
Which, how many billions do you think that's worth?
Well, that was Trump's big thing to remember, like, oh, we're going to make them pay more. And they have agreed to pay a little bit more money, but it's like, come on, we all know the reality. Drop in the bucket. Exactly. It's like, oh, they're going to pay $1 billion to the U.S. Okay.
It's alone. It's just ridiculous. The amount of military presence that we have to maintain there for them to enjoy that nice little democracy they've got. And at what cost? Schools at home falling apart. Neighborhoods at home falling to disrepair as they're abandoned or increasingly occupied by disillusioned squatters or groups of fucking homeless people.
Well, you notice he didn't mention
rotting cities, rotting infrastructure, rotting healthcare, rotting fucking planet, and
Afghanistan and Iraq. Oh, hey guys, remember those places? After we invaded, now paradise on earth. It's like they're like utopias. Remember, like
shit. The
best infrastructure, new roads, new schools. All the people that have differences have locked arms. We love each other. Everything is great.
That's a fantastic point, Scotty, because I love how Rave Dubin just dodges the entire military engagement that's gone on since I was a little boy in the Middle East. The first Iraq invasion that ended up being a complete and utter failure because we didn't kill Saddam Hussein and he got more and more militarized and cracked down harder on his citizens because of it. And then the second misadventure, as we toddled into Iraq expecting to find a giant nuke buried in the sand, and we just ended up holding our dicks with a country.
Colin Powell went before the UN and lied because the building they showed, I believe it was 60 Minutes. I won't say Mike Wallace, but I'm not sure if it was him or someone other.
Sorry, that was accidental. I bumped my board.
It's all good. But like, they showed the wall. They're like, this is where they're off. Like this, when he did his UN presentation, this is where they're offloading the chemical weapons. And they went there and they showed like that's impossible.
That's why last night. Did you guys watch the DNC last night or the DNC last night?
No,
I want to watch Joe Biden's entire speech, which was a snooze fest. But I made it through it. It was 24 minutes of, oh, okay.
I heard he was going to end racism, so that's good. I'm glad that's done.
I made a bunch of notes about the speech itself.
I actually watched a little bit of the preceding stuff.
I dipped my toe in a few times, but I was pretty quickly just like, ugh, I can't watch this shit.
Can I tell you something that happened that you may not be aware of?
Okay.
Vosh tweeted about it, so TJ's probably aware of it for sure because Daddy tweeted.
I might know about it. I don't know.
I'm just moving on you. I don't actually think that. Anyway, Biden last night. Well, not Biden actually. Before Biden came on, they had a kid who was half deaf and had a really, really pronounced stutter come out.
Mm-hmm.
This was just after they had a doctor come out and talk about how Joe aced his cognitive test.
Right.
So clearly, this is Joe going, I don't have dementia, right? And to do that, you know what his finishing move was? You know what happened after the Hadouken that made the guy go like, finish him? Here's the Hadouken. The Hadouken that killed the guy was, here's a doctor what says I passed a test that a third grader can pass.
Right.
And then his after the finish him, his finishing move was bringing on a little 11-year-old half deaf boy that has a horrible stutter.
Sure.
Mm-hmm.
To go like, it's so, and I'm not making fun.
No, I don't think you are.
He just say like he said this, but he stuttered instead of me doing one of my impressions because the boy did nothing wrong. And I don't want to make fun. So I won't do that. But just know that what I say here was punctuated by some very pronounced, obvious, long stutters.
Okay.
And the little boy's message was, it's so exciting to see someone like me going into the White House. And it's so exciting that someone like me is going to fix America. So he's clearly coached to stutter, and I'm not making fun, stutter his way through a Joe Biden.
Right.
What amounted to a Joe Biden ball washing at best.
Yeah.
To imply that what we're seeing and what we're all concerned about in Joe Biden is his stutter, and not the fact that he can't string two sentences together, and not the fact that he continuously and tangentially falls into some kind of weird hole where he's talking about something nobody remembers because he's like back in 1960. And it's happened so many times. He forgets where he is. He forgets when he is. He forgets when things happened or who he met. He puts his meetings with leaders 20 years earlier in the 80s when he was still a politician. That's what we're concerned about. And so his attempt right before he goes live to deflect the criticisms that people that watch Joe Biden and go, Jesus, man, he's an old guy and he might be kind of slipping. We're just totally like the fact that they used a real little kid who's currently going through school and get made fun of, by the way, probably, that had a horrible stutter. There's I don't know how bad Joe Biden's was when I know he went through a lot of speech therapy, so probably way worse. It's probably getting worse now, but that's a different situation. But like the fact that he used that little kid was just so disgusting to me. I was just like, you have to be fucking
that is pretty nuts.
Joking.
Dude, let me tell you guys something too.
You guys see this shit? I don't mean to change the subject, but what's this double trouble shit?
So yeah, I looked at
trouble, TJ.
Fuck, man.
Make it double.
I looked at this shit with Amelia, and I gotta be honest with you, like covering it at this point is like pretending you got a crystal ball in front of you. Neither one of these storms might even reach the goal.
Yeah. Still pretty crazy.
These early projections are often way off, and none of them, even if they are right, are pointed at us in a way that would bring more than a little bit of rain if they're Cat 1s.
But what if the fucking meeting? What if the two hurricanes meet and form a super hurricane?
Yeah, and super hurricanes.
They start spinning around each other.
Yeah, welcome to 20.
It sucks all the sharks out of the Gulf. Oh no, a Sharknado! Ah! You know,
it's like Katrina times 1,000. Dude, I actually took some notes from the
from the speech.
You know what I actually call the speech overall? America's Greatest Hits Volume 1, because that's basically what you got. You got like the most rote political speech. Here's some things. We should make PPE in America.
Wow.
Good job, Joe.
Wow.
Joe will take COVID behind the gym.
Blowing my mind. Taking it behind the gym, huh?
He's gonna take COVID behind the gym, kick its ass.
Kick its fucking ass.
I actually gave him a point for. Shockley admits America sucks at COVID, but of course only does this because it makes Trump look bad.
Well, he admits Trump sucks at COVID. That's about it, right?
One of my favorite moments is this is a quote right from Joe Biden. "We will tell the truth." My response was 2 of the laughing emojis. I was like, okay. He has failed to protect America. Uncle Joe promises to protect me, which made me feel better. A really disgusting moment of talking to people who lost family and friends to COVID, which was just disgusting and I just felt gross listening to it. I'm from the middle class. No longer, of course, Joe.
Yeah, like a million years ago, maybe.
A quote from his dad, supposedly. "I don't expect the government to fix my problems, but I expect them to understand them. Then what good are they? I understand your problem, but don't care." Dang.
It's basically like Beavis at the call center, you know. I understand your concerns, or whatever the fuck that rote line he was taught to say.
Promising infrastructure, of course, just a dream.
Right. How many every fucking president that I've seen in my lifetime has promised the infrastructure spending that's going to happen. It never happens.
I put immigration in 2 question marks because it was mentioned, but nothing specific was said. Lim Unions built the middle class.
Let me ask you this, Scotty. Just I don't mean to disrupt you. You can go through all your notes if you want, but I do want to just ask: was there even a single instance of him like mentioning some sort of policy, or was it all just fluff?
Fluff.
Okay, that's what I pretty much figured.
I mean, no, there was a couple, but like, okay, like in respect to healthcare.
The only thing that from his speech that is filtered into my brain is that he promised to be the generation that ends racism.
Yeah, and like they want to strengthen the Affordable Care Act. I mean, I guess you could say that's the policy.
So he's already backed down from a public option, right?
If they're pressing forward with that, that's news to me. Loopholes in the House, reverse Trump tax cuts. So it's basically just go after loopholes, which of course I like loopholes. So I was
loopholes are good.
Here's a big thing to take away. I don't think anyone in the media has really covered this one. I think it's very telling. I'm not looking to punish anyone. Translation: this is what my take on it.
I know what that means. It means like they're
and I'm supported by a gaggle of billionaires.
Right. Like, I'm not looking to punish anybody for success or nothing.
Scotty, can I say just real quick? I don't want to interrupt. I want to hear the rest of your notes, but I think it's interesting because I kind of took notes too.
Oh, cool.
Of live tweeting the lead up to and the Biden debate, and reading my notes will be a different perspective on the same sentiment. It's really interesting. I'm like looking at my tweets from last night where I live tweeted the lead up to and the actual debate. And so I'll read those next and like screen share them.
I definitely want to hear your guys' takes. If you guys have,
I've not seen the speech. The only thing I've heard from the speech is he said like, we're going to be the generation that ends racism. And I was like, wow, racism's done. Okay, cool.
So here's my next one. Protect old people socialism, because that's the only acceptable kind. So of course, like we're going to strengthen and protect Medicare and Social Security, which of course I just call old people socialism because they're fine with it when it benefits them.
Yeah.
Kamala is the American dream, from immigrant to neoliberal bootlicking center right centrist.
Yeah,
I like it.
American dream, beautiful.
I have a family and I love my wife. Congratulations. I put the only real emotion talking about dead son. That was the only time I actually felt Joe Biden actually.
Of course, and that's the time you'd expect it. He lost his son, and so he's able to summon that up, and it's probably genuine emotion. And whatever. Like everybody suffers, bitch. Get used to it.
I talked to George.
But
the worst part about the speech says we are fucked because he used the word possibilities. And I said, anything that's possible, it's about the best way to spin what a dumpster fire we are as a nation. And the only way out is there's a possible chance it could get better.
Yay.
Then, of course, he said, this is the United States of America, which my response was, thanks, Joe. I forgot what country I was in for a second.
Well, he needed to remind himself. You know?
And I basically said at his last 2 or 3 minutes is the Independence Day speech.
Yeah, you're right. There was, it'll be interesting because, like, watch this. So you guys want to, it's not a bunch of tweets. Don't worry. I wasn't like rabidly live tweeting it or anything, but there's some interesting points that Scotty missed because he didn't watch the lead up. And then some interesting other takes on Scotty's exact sentiment there, because I don't think that we differ. But are you guys interested in looking at it?
Yeah, go ahead.
All my notes, but for brevity, I kind of just. So
another interesting side note, it was right after I lolled at retweeting the first iteration of the Van Dykeless Clint Monk.
Of course.
And then I started watching. And my first dip of the toe in was not to judge or anything, but what the fuck happened to Beto? Because Beto looked real sickly.
Yeah, he looks real gaunt.
And gaunt. Yeah. And so I was just casually kind of watching at this point. I didn't listen to nothing Beto said. So if he said something stupid, don't expect to see it me. And then I kind of tuned back in during Mike Bloomberg's speech and I quoted him directly. I actually remember I stopped the thing because I was just going to approximate it, but I didn't want to be accused of misquoting by any bootlickers. So I went back and I stopped the fucking live stream that I was watching on YouTube. And I went back and I heard him say, okay, so here's my tweet. Mike Bloomberg just now. I've supported Democrats, Republicans, and independents. Hell, I've been a Democrat, Republican, and independent. And then my commentary was, why is this man speaking at the Democratic convention again?
Because billionaire.
Mind-boggling, really. And then we talked about this a little bit, but here's my commentary on that. Really, a kid with a stutter? It's not the stutter that bothers us, Joe Biden. It's the fact that you can't seem to string two coherent sentences together. This kid would be a better president than you. DNC 2020. Which, whatever, take that commentary for what it's worth. I think I was better at elucidating how disgusted I was by that just now.
Well, tweets are hard.
There was this weird... I don't even know who it was. They were like a celebrity couple, and I don't know who they were because I don't care. They were.
I increasingly don't know who the fuck these celebrities are. So
not that it matters, but it was a black couple, so it was probably cherry picked by the DNC to make the emphasize Biden. So it was a young black couple. I know they're celebrities. I've seen them before of some stripe, and their kids were there. And they had this obviously pre-prepared, obviously partially scripted conversation with their daughters. And then the outro was the lady, who I think is the famous one of the two, saying, well, thank you for joining us for, quote, this very candid conversation with our daughters. And my commentary was, are they doing the satire? No can tell.
No,
because it was just the oddest thing to watch a completely pre-planned speech being given by a 4 and 6 year old. And then for the mom to look at the camera, look slightly off the camera and say, thank you for joining us for this very candid speech with our daughters. And we hope you vote for Bo Biden. It's like, I was like, I was having a robot moment here. And then, okay, so my next commentary is LMAO, Julia Louise going for that Oscar tonight. By the way, because you guys didn't watch the preceding, you don't know that Julia Louis-Dreyfus was the MC for a lot of these proceedings.
Oh, another billionaire. Shocking.
And my commentary was LMAO, Julia Louise going for that Oscar tonight because she, of course, led right into Joe Biden's heartfelt, stupid movie that Scotty took a lot of notes about leading into his speech and then his speech. And she got to that point where she almost summoned a tear, talking about how much respect she had for Joe Biden. And I laughed fucking so loud, I was afraid the cops were going to come. I cackled like a hyena because it was so obvious actor technique. She was summoning that. I can make myself cry. Man, when I think of Joe Biden, I think of a new America. I think of an America where we don't have to be embarrassed of our leadership.
She has a $3.4 billion net worth. So
and what a bright day that would be. So here is my friend and our next president, Joe Biden. She goes off, right? And I'm just like laughing my ass off over here, stoned, just like she's so going for the Oscar at a time where she's not going to win one and nobody's buying it. And then that's basically the end of my commentary. I
want to ask both of you guys this.
No, sorry, it's not. It's not. Okay. I did take some commentary.
All right, sorry.
There was a point where Vosh said something in response to a speech, and I don't remember the context of this, but it's worth reading. I won't read Vosh's, but because it doesn't really matter. But I think it was in response to the same weird moment in the Biden speech. I said, and I quote, this is what I wrote last night during the Biden speech. When I was a boy, I fell down and skinned my knee. I started to cry until a pair of lips descended from nowhere and kissed my boo-boo better. Those lips matched the face of Joe Biden.
God bless him.
Thank you, Joe.
What a wonderful man. So Okay, you guys have more?
And so this is arguing with somebody, so I'll skip that. Then there's this is during the Joe Biden speech, and in response to it, Grampy's bedtime story making Lil Polly sweepy, ZZZ. More arguing, and then another Joe Biden commentary. Someone just flashed the energy card at Joe. He woke me up from my comfy nap. So there was a point in the speech where Joe was like, you know, he started his like, and I was like, whoa, oh, okay, Joe, all right.
He's angry now.
And then my last note on the Joe Biden speech was, oh, thank you, Grampy Joe. I'm getting sweepy again. Good story. Because he kind of had this arc where he started off very sweepy Joe, and then he had this like brief minute or minute and a half maybe where he was like, and you know, and then it descended slowly but surely and pretty quickly back to fucking.
So how many senior moments were in the speech?
I didn't count, but there were.
Or was he like? Was it really bad, or was it like?
No, it wasn't what I was. From my perspective, it wasn't like as littered as I thought it might have could be. So he was well prepared for it.
Do you feel like maybe they pre-recorded it, or was it definitely live?
It was pre-recorded. I have a strong. Now they made it look like it was live. They had the speech, and then they had him and Jill walking out of the DNC and getting in their car. But I get the strong feeling that because there's no way for us to know for sure that he was actually standing at a podium, because nobody was allowed in the room except his people, obviously for COVID.
Right.
And then they had set up this like drive-in movie theater outside of where Joe Biden was that select people from the community could watch the DNC thing from their cars, socially distant, which was weird. And at the end of it, Joe Biden and Jill Biden walked out of the building hand in hand in masks and got into a limo looking like black type president type car together and drove out of that area with people holding signs that were allowed to come to the drive-in. They were now out with masks, and they were holding signs like "Go Joe" or "I'm with Joe" or "Joe doesn't blow" or whatever the fuck, you know. And that's how it ended. It was very strange. It was very strange.
Yeah, I mean, I guess I'm probably gonna have to watch some of it. I don't know.
I would recommend like watching the 20 minutes that lead into the Joe Biden speech. Honestly, it's some of the, like, Vosh commented on it too, and I was in the middle of typing a tweet, and I got this update that Vosh had tweeted, and it was basically the same sentiment. He was like, "Oh my God, you know, the DNC is the funniest shit ever tonight. I wish I was live streaming because fucking A, this is gold." Because I was like laughing my ass off over here at the absurdity. And
dude, if I thought we could get away with it, I would have just suggested that we live stream every night of this shit. But
exactly the same. It's like I just got like, and just is relative, but I know what happens when I fuck up on ideology. It means I end up over on the poltergeist with like half of my normal 300 viewers.
Right, exactly. And I mean, like we've seen how they fucking are super protective of that shit now. But now that it's out, I think we could probably safely cut some clips out and fucking make fun of it.
You guys watching that plus Biden's speech and pausing as we go and reacting to it.
Oh, it'll take forever.
Obviously would have been, but it'll be more for TJ's reactions. You know, I'm willing to step out of the way as a performer because us all being present, and you too, Scotty, because you didn't watch the lead up either. So it'll all be fresh to you despite my commentary, because there's shit I didn't, you know, talk about that was just as absurd as the shit I did. You know, I was just lazily live tweeting it. So we should get that little chunk once it's released, and we're relatively sure we can show it without getting flagged and watch it together. And I'll just kind of like mute up, and I'll jump in once in a while if I've got something to say. But I just want to see how especially during the lead up to Biden's speech, you know, and then we can all react to Biden's speech.
Good old Biden. All right, that's probably a grease trap. We're over an hour now. Thank you guys.
You guys want to do that?
Sure.
Yeah, we can do it.
We can try it out.
Let's do it.
Thank you guys for watching.
See
you later.
Big fat fight.